Hello, this is Roland. I'd like to talk to you today a little bit about our indulgences and how we give up energy. A lot of people feel drained, tired, um, and part of the reason is that we literally give up energy to that which tempts us, to which we fall. That to which we fall, we give our energy to, our life to. See? Um, I mean, in a crude way, you can see how, for example, if somebody um, is tempted by gambling, then they give their money, their hard-earned money. You could call it the lifeblood of the economy to the casino. You see how that works? So, in a similar way, we give up our energy to people that tempt us, objects that tempt us. If you're tempted to buy things, you go to the see, and we're surrounded by wall-to-wall temptation. Everything now is cleverly designed to tempt you to spend too much, to buy things that you don't need. Okay, um, and so they're taking advantage of a weakness. So you give up your money, but you also give up your life. People give up their life, and you give up your life force, your life energy, your élan vital, as the French say, your life energy. Okay? You could end up with cancer or leukemia by giving your energy to a hovering, smothering person who seems so nice and so wonderful and who does so much for you. You give them your life. See? So this is very important. Very important. So I'd like to read something to you today. I was, and of course, the antidote is to begin responding to what we know in our heart, to respond to principle, to truth, ultimately to our Creator, to intuition, instead of responding to the outside. And as you more and more respond to what you know is right in your heart, in other words, you see what's right, and then you do it. Okay? More and more you will become immune to temptation. More and more the temptations that used to tempt you to things you couldn't say no to will become of no interest to you or value whatsoever. But beautiful, shining truths and realizations, understanding, um, and just the sheer joy of being able to live without being addicted, without needing other people, and without compulsively giving your life. Okay, the sheer joy of that will be in and of itself a reward. Okay, now I'd like to read something. Today I went over to the shelf and I picked this book up here. This book is called, let me turn it sideways so it's not so shiny. This book is a book I wrote, and it's actually called Helping and Healing the Inner You. Helping and Healing the Inner You. Integrative Strategies for Self-Empowerment and Spiritual Growth. Helping and Healing the Inner You. This is a big book. It's like, how many pages is this thing? Over 500 pages. It's my most recent book, actually. I don't talk about it a lot, but it's a very good book. So I want to read something to you from it. I picked up the book, I opened it up to a page, and this is what I saw. It's in a chapter called Energy and Intimidation. One way or another, we give up energy to those who rule us and to our indulgences, which comfort us and make us feel good even in our failure. People who comfort you when you fail, they say, poor thing. See, they take your energy too. We get a certain type of energy from our foods and activities, but when we are put on, when we become resentful, or when we look to our indulgences and for something of egotistical value, the tables are turned and we are in the inferior position. In the inferior position, the dominant person or object now has the power to draw energy from us. We die a little bit to it. That is why our indulgences kill us. Our anger kills us. And the beautiful people who we respond to with awe and excitement kill us by taking our energy and money. Okay? So, um, you see, you have the dominant and the inferior. Okay, or the one who's superior and the one that's underneath. Okay, subservient. It's like a pecking order in the animal kingdom. You see it. Um, well, when you don't respond to temptation, there's a temptation. You see it. You don't respond. Okay, you remain superior to it. Okay, but when you respond to it, or to the person who embodies the temptation, now you are in the inferior position. It is the dominant thing, see, that you are pursuing, and which then is entitled to take your energy. See, just like if you have two dogs fighting, and the dog that wins is entitled to take the energy of the dog that loses, or even its life. Two animals fight. Maybe it's life, or at least it's energy. The loser gives up energy to the winner, who becomes more powerful. That's why you see your temptations gain power over. The more you struggle with them, see, struggle is part of the temptation. It gains power. You can even see it in your own mind. You have a tempting thought. You struggle with it. Instead of standing back and observing it, which is what I teach with my meditation, you struggle with it. And when you struggle with it, you give it energy, and it becomes stronger, and it uses that energy then to conquer you. You see? See how that works? Okay. Continue reading. Perhaps now you can see that there are two ways to die to the world. The right way is to gradually draw closer and closer to the bosom of God, taking your identity from Him. In exchange for serving Him, He gives you His approval and life. His life, love, and warmth sustain the body, and His light enlightens the mind and fills it with good thoughts. The wrong way of dying to the world is to be separated from God, and thus looking to the world for identity. One's ego identity is then a small replica of the identity bytes given to you by the world. Thereafter you must keep going back to the world for reinforcement of its little identity in you. In exchange, the big identity on the outside takes your energy a little at a time. You sustain it in authority and power over you with your own energy. You literally die to it. It becomes bigger and more powerful as you diminish. You can see that principle operating at so many different levels: psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, even physically. Okay, so this, you see, this is good stuff. Okay, so now you see why you must learn to deal with your indulgences properly. Maybe in the past you were excited by them. Okay, you responded, but then what happened when they began to dominate you? See, a lot of people find that with other people too. You get into a relationship, you fall head over heels for that person. Then when they begin to dominate you, then what? Then they become mean, so on. Then you find yourself playing a game always, you can't win for losing. See? Then you make the mistake of resenting them. First you were excited about their wooing you. See, and then later, when you found out that it was pretense, they didn't really love you, then you resented them. But resentment is another fall to the temptation. A lot of men marry a man, they know he has faults, then after they think they can fix the faults and so on. Then after they're married, they resent him. But then out of resentment, they feel guilty for resenting him. Then out of guilt, they serve him. And when they serve him, it makes him worse. Okay, and then a lot of men resent their wives. See, what was started off as a beautiful, young, charming temptation becomes an old, nagging witch. Okay, which is mainly his fault, because he didn't have true love for her. See, He didn't have true love. He used her to support his ego. But then she began to see, he fell for her temptation. And then she became dominant, making his life into a living hell. See how that works? All right. So what do? You have to stand back and take a good look at at all of these things, your relationships, your addictions, your indulgences, and see them for what they are. You've made them into temptations. You responded to them first with love, not really love, but with lust for them, or excitement, and then with hate. And either way, you keep reinforcing the temptation and the power over you. So you have to learn to stand back from them and observe them. Don't struggle. Stop struggling with your symptoms. Stop resenting yourself. Stop resenting them. Stand back and observe. Okay? Begin to responding to what you know in your heart is right. Okay? All right. So this is a very good book, Helping and Healing the Inner You. I highly recommend it. It's on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback. You can also get it from me for a small donation of any amount. I'll send you a PDF of the book. I'll send you a PDF by email. Well, actually, this book is so big I can't send it by email, but what I do is I give you a link to where it is online where you can download it. You can download a PDF online, okay? The point is you can get this from me for a small donation. It's an excellent book. It really is. So I want to talk about this book and give you some clues so you can start the new year off right. Stand back and look at your indulgences and your issues and see how it was your reaction to them that gave them power over you. And now you must learn the lesson of observing them without reacting to them anymore, without resenting them. Okay? My name is Roland.